Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you the open source IAB Taxonomy Mapper that we built over at Mixpeak. It's a simple tool that allows you to migrate from your own internal taxonomies or previous IAB Content Taxonomy versions into whatever is latest and greatest. Currently, it's 3.0, 3.1. And so whether you're an ad tech, media, or brand safety, this will be useful for you. And best of all, it's entirely free, it runs locally, and it is fully open source. And so we'll actually run through the code and how everything works under the hood as well. And so this is a UI. It is a web server that's running locally. So as you can see, we've got the localhost service here. And you can access everything by going to the mxp.co/taxonomy website here. So if we copy that, we'll just see that it redirects to this, has all of the necessary links that you'll need. We'll have a tool that will launch this web server within the browser, within your browser. You can request your own personal audit on your taxonomies, and then you can access the GitHub, which has all of the code as well as the CLI and everything so that you can run this locally at scale. And so let's just really quickly run through an example. So we could use a sample JSON that we have here. Let's say this one, we have a bunch of codes and labels as well as labels that don't have codes. And as you can see, this does not align to the latest and greatest content taxonomy version from IAB. And so we could use that example for this demo. So we just drag it right in here and just running through these methods that are pre-selected. We've got exact label, which is really just checking if there's an identical mapping between 2.0 and 3x or in 3.0. And so if there is, we map it directly. TF-IDF and BM25 are popular search algorithms. And so if the labels are slightly different, then we use those search algorithms to kind of compare the similarity methods using very standard information retrieval techniques. And so that just finds the closest match. And then we'll go through two advanced methods after we kind of run through this example here. And so as you can see, we have each row from the input JSON that we have. Also, it accepts CSVs or spreadsheets. Each column has the previous 2.x label, 2.x code, or your own taxonomy code and label, and then the new 3.0 code and the new 3.0 label, as well as a confidence score, the method that was used, notes, and if it was re-ranked by an LLM. And so we can do a slightly more advanced approach here, and we can select embedding. And this just uses an open source embedding model. I believe it is whatever is most popular on Hugging Face, which is, if you're not familiar with Hugging Face, just a website that allows you to download and run open source models. And then what we can also do is enable LLM re-ranking. And so this is actually also an open source model that's run locally using Ollama. This is a separate server that I have locally. And as you can see, when I go to that localhost port, it says Ollama is running. And so this is required, and it's also installed when you do the pip install that we'll kind of walk through in a bit. And so the LLM's re-ranking is useful for more ambiguous cases. It allows us to kind of use a large language model, in this case, DeepSeek R1, to re-rank each step. And it evaluates the top candidates and chooses the most contextually accurate one. The embedding approach here embeds both the taxonomies and the previous version and the next version, and runs a k-nearest neighbor to find semantically similar categories, even if the words don't match. And so this is useful if, again, those words don't match and we want to kind of find what is most semantically similar. So if we run that map now, it will take a couple of seconds because the large language model, since we're running it locally and I have limited resources on my computer, it will take a couple of seconds. And so we'll wait for that to be available. Cool, so it has finished, and as we can see, we have a bunch of rows that have a new method available. It says embed, and so that just means that it used the KNN to find that matching. And we have some of these rows now have LLM re-ranked, indicating yes. And so that was using the DeepSeek model to actually reevaluate the candidate to choose if it is contextually accurate or not. So as you can see, we've got all the results. And so because each of them return a confidence score, you can filter the results or flag for human review. And so if you wanted to run this locally, you go into the GitHub page here. And so again, it is available here, mxp.co/taxonomy. And so we can see, scroll down, we can review the actual Python library. So all you have to do is pip install IAB Mapper. And once you've installed that, then it's a very simple CLI command. And so you have to, if you want to use the web UI that I just showed you, it is a UVcorn web server that you just run here. We've got all of the requirements all preloaded in the repository. And so again, once you have the library installed, the IAB Mapper library installed, then it's a simple CLI. You have your previous file, as well as what you want to send the new results to. And there are a bunch of different flags based off of what methods you want to use, similar to the checkboxes that we showed in the demo here. And so this runs the exact same pipeline. If you want to use TF-IDF, DM25, KNN, or LLM rerank, it works entirely on your own local machine. No data ever leaves your environment. And so again, all of this is free and open source. We've got the quick start, advanced options, and taxonomy commands all in this single GitHub repo. And so if you are an ad tech company, you are working on brand safety, etc. So all of this will be available for your review here. And so this is useful if you are an ad tech platform that wants to ensure compliance with IAB 3.0. If you're a brand safety vendor that wants to add multimodal checks, if you're a publisher that wants to tag video or CTV content more precisely, the value of this tool is effectively you save weeks of manual mapping, you get reproducible results, and again, it runs entirely locally so that you can customize it with your existing AI stack. And so one last time, all of the results, all of the data and information is available here. As you can see, mxp.co/taxonomy. Install the CLI via pip and dive into the repo on the GitHub and start mapping yourself. Thank you.